till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip the switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders.
Time to move some boulders here with Sports Money. It's pre-gaming. It's 6 p.m. You guys know the deal. It's time for us to put all the pieces together. We're going to look at line movement, cash. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Trying to get the sound just right. Technical difficulties here today, but we're ready to fire away. And we've got ourselves a nice little Thursday night slate. We tread some water yesterday. We found ourselves up a unit. And that's the most important thing here, is we continue to fight the good fight. We find ourselves active in finding a way to stack units. Some days will be 1 unit. Some days will be 10 units. Some days we're going to be down a unit or 2. But it's all about getting after it, getting ready to take some names and beat these bookies up. You guys know the deal here with pre-gaming. We got a big Thursday night stream. I gotta change my background. It always messes me up. It feels like I'm slightly tilted here. But I'm excited, man. We've got ourselves Thursday night football. The Ravens are going to battle the Miami Dolphins down in Miami. Tua turning it over is 0-4 on Thursday night football. Lamar Jackson is back and ready to attack, or is he? We'll talk about that game. Hockey's got an 11-game card. You'll see on the screen, I've got Buffalo and Boston. I've got Nashville and Philly. That's going to be a parlay. I've got an NHL parlay between 2 monster trends, and I'm going to add a play to finish it off. So we'll have 4 hockey plays here on the card tonight. I'm going to take in Tulsa and UTSA for college football. It's ugly action throughout the week here, but they're prime time. These boys like to play, so we'll see if they can find a way to make it pay. Let's get after that. And then I've got 2 NBA games for you guys here. It's a 4-game NBA slate, so we'll talk Golden State and the Milwaukee Brewers, Algonquin for the Goodland, or Milwaukee Bucks. And then Miami and the Spurs to close it off here for the evening. So that's going to be fun. We got some action in front of us. We're going to be live betting all night. You guys know the deal. Thursday night football. And I can't stress it enough. Do not sleep on the live streams. We continue to kick butt, take names. We've got a panel of extraordinary guests that are honing their craft. We've got razor sharp picks. We've got MMA Jeff and myself giving you guys the Thursday night action. And we just keep finding these spots that pay. We've got some props. We've got some sides. We've got some totals. We've got some parlays as well. So you got to make sure you tune into these things, because we're not just talking the NFL. We're going to be live betting the NHL 11-game card. You know damn well we're going to try to find the formula. The formula cashed a plus 450 the other night, and we'll see if we can find another one tonight to make it right. I'm excited for the NHL card here that we have. I'm still messed up with this. Let me see if I can fix this. It's just me. It's probably just me. You guys probably don't care. But I try to be a perfectionist at the craft. Shout out to them Toronto Blue Jays. Finding another win out there last night. We cashed the under, but we'll talk about that in just a second. I love what I'm hearing here out of LSU. Look at, these are state schools, and the governors are weighing in saying, the fuck? We're paying this guy $56 million to fuck off forever? What are we doing? Absolutely not. LSU, Louisiana's governor, has stepped in and said, we'll assemble a panel. This athletic director that also gave Jimbo Fisher his job at Texas A&M, with these big contracts and trying to make splashy signings, they're just not working. And they're going to pay the price for it. So look, we got ourselves a big card tonight. So I'm really fired up here. I wish there was some baseball. I wish we had this next game tonight, but it's all right. We'll let it go. We'll let it slide tonight. Last night, all in all, gained ourselves a unit. We missed that parlay because the Minnesota Timberwolves did not cash. They lost by 1 point to the Lakers there. That was a plus 158. We had Denver, Portland, Minnesota. We did cash Portland outright. Now, the best part about Portland outright at minus 145 is I told you, we're not going to lay the 2.5. We're going to take the money line, and the money line cashed. The 2.5 did not cash because it was a 2-point victory. So we threaded the needle in that spot there. The Sacramento Kings, however, took an L for us, plus 5. The Kings, off that second leg of the back-to-back and that big win, probably should have known better. And the under 227.5, it's an over league in the NBA. I gave you guys the Kanchanov live spot there in tennis, minus 122. And that thing won before the show was even over. So we did get ourselves a live bet. NBA parlay, not so good. NHL, good. Yes, we cashed the Columbus Blue Jackets. 6-3, easy winner. I gave out the over 6.5 on the Win Club over there at Winnable. And that was just a beatdown. Columbus beat down Toronto. Remember, the angle that we attacked with that game. Remember? Do you remember what it was? Does anybody remember the angle? I'll leave it there for a second. And no, the answer is no. I'll tell you again. Early in the season, home teams, favorites, divisional opponents that are on no rest. That was the Toronto Maple Leafs yesterday. Despite the hot season, the hot teams, the hot city, Columbus found a way to go out there and beat some ass. 6-3, easy casher for us. And that was the only game in the NHL. So is that a sweep? Is it a sweep if there's only one game and that's how you get paid? I don't think so. We'll just call it a win. We'll just take it as a win. I also gave you guys Missouri State. Now, I gave you the juice. We won either way. We didn't need the juice. It was a 7-point victory for Missouri State. But a win is a win. And last but not least, we cashed the under 8 in the Major League Baseball game. I also told you guys, listen, you gotta take the Toronto Blue Jays here. Plus 170. We talked about what the Sharps may or may not be involved with here. And are they just buying the number? Probably, maybe. I talked about the Rockets against the Raptors. I said I didn't like that. I told you guys the Celtics. I thought the Celtics were in a beatdown spot against the Cavs. Some of you guys not our chat, but some people get overly worked up in the bigs versus the smalls. It was a Celtic spot. I told you guys that. It was a plus 3.5 Celtic spot. They won outright. The Magic, unfortunately, got busted up. Now, some people are saying the Magic are not the play tonight. I disagree against them Hornets. The Hornets are the Hornets. And the Magic, look, they lost to the Pistons. Beat down. No question about it. Not an under either. I guess we're still trying to figure out who the Pistons are. Pistons? Maybe, maybe not. As we rolled down the card, some other spots that I told you guys that I was fond of. I told you about the Trailblazers out there. And I'm pissed about the Timberwolves. Suns lose 114-113 to the Grizzlies. But it's not going to be an official play tonight here. But, man, you got to look at this Magic team tonight. I know it's not pretty. It's not comfortable. I just think they're better than the other side here in the Hornets. Yeah, the Hornets have found some wins early, and yet the other side has not. But college football, Marshall and Coastal, Tulane and UTSA. What an interesting start here. We had Kennesaw State minus 10 early in the week there, gave that out on Winnable. They busted them up. James Madison, Texas State was not an under. That was clearly an over. But the 3.5 on Middle 10. They lose by 3 points out there to Jacksonville State. Yeah, Jacksonville State moves to 4-0, but Winnable members did cash on the Middle 10 side of things. And Florida International just continues to stink. So, interesting day across the board when it comes to them sports. And as we look across the slate here, shame on me for not mentioning it yesterday, but Michael Carter The second is a new Philadelphia Eagle. I read an interesting stat about Michael Carter. In 5 years of playing NFL football, he's only allowed 3 touchdowns to his position over his course of, well, life in the NFL. On top of that, we gave out Mechie. Okay, you can have him. We gave a couple draft picks. We picked the draft pick up on top of that for the Eagles. It's okay. We're going to be okay. Will Jaden Daniels play this weekend for the Washington Commanders? I'll tell you, I got some sharp betting analysis here. At least the sharp report came in for bets in the NFL. And if you guys will humor me, I will share them with you right now. Early action. They're betting early. And I'll tell you, this NFL Sunday, look, I did hear that too, by the way. Both Wagner brothers out. I don't care. Player injuries really haven't much accounted for my concern when it comes down to it, but maybe I'll be in the minority. Let me see if I can pull up the NFL sharp betting, because I'm not entirely surprised. We've seen favorites dominate and we've seen the spread not matter. And the reality is they are hammering away on these big favorites for you guys. So I want to share it with you now, because by Sunday, who the hell knows? These lines might get way too wide. Where is it? Where is that NFL report? Okay. Jerry Davis, Super Bowl champs coming in. Updated. Okay, so we got a couple of spots. Early week action in the NFL. And if you guys like this, I'll continue to share it. Doesn't mean they're going to win or they're going to lose. Just telling you what's coming through for the early sharp betting analysis. Last week, they had the Colts. Last week, they had the under in the Houston game, and they had the over in the Dallas game. So they swept the board last week. This week, early action, before the lines even came out, they were taking the Jaguars -3. Jacksonville's playing the Las Vegas Raiders. We know they stink. I need the Raiders for the 33 pool. Can they do it against Jacksonville? They're taking the Giants in San Francisco under 48.5. What you should note is the best things that they're doing in the sharp respective betting report are crushing the totals. The Dolphins +7.5. They gave that one out early in the week. They added the Rams to it. The Rams -14 on the sharp respective betting report, and the Commanders +3. So we've got what, five, 6 games in from some early spots that the sharps really do like. Take it for what it's worth. Just use it as a measuring stick, as a weather vane, as they say. Which direction is the wind blowing? And the sharps are hammering the Jaguars. They're hammering the Rams. They're hammering the Lions, by the way. That's another one that kind of came through as a first cut. They're hammering the Lions. They're hammering the Giants game. Actually, I guess now they're flipped back and forth. I guess they're flipping back and forth on this Giants game. Giants in San Francisco. I'll tell you right now, I think the San Francisco Niners come out there and wax them Giants. You don't have to wait till Sunday. Sunday is the newest show in the sports money lineup. My guy Shark comes in here. The Shark, Sharky Water Nations, giving us breakdowns on every single NFL game. The fastest hour in NFL Sunday. You're going to get a breakdown on every single game. You're going to get sides, totals, prop bets, you name it. We got it here at Sports Money. And man, 13-4 last week. You could argue we were, 12-3. Why could you argue that? Because we were head-to-head in that last game. So I took the loss. Shark took the win. Kind of pushes, right? 12-3. I don't know. 13-4 is what the official results came in at. And so you got to tune in on Sunday at 11 a.m. to catch that big action. Of course, UFC Saturday will be popping off here about 3:45 or so. MMA Jeff and I already gave you guys 2 fights and a parlay, 3 spots to go out there and beat the books with the UFC. Vegas, man, they're back in the baby cage at the Apex. Vegas 110. I'm pretty sure, I think Jeff's was -105. Pretty sure mine was +112. And I'm pretty sure the parlay is +123. So plenty of action for you guys to get involved with, of course. How can we not mention the VB MMA Picks Ramon Scott show. That's out there as well. Wheezy, MMA Wheezy, the guest this week. I like MMA Wheezy, man. An analytical guy. He's got himself some spreadsheets, some databases, some tools that he uses to give you guys first best bets as well. So collectively, you're going to find about 6-7 bets, 6 or 7 plays. Even if you don't like the UFC, you don't want to sleep on this action, man. We have been finding a way to kick ass, take some names, beat these bookies, and you want to join us live because it's not just UFC. Yes, UFC is if we're going to take this, look, we're right around the corner. Halloween's tomorrow, and then we've got my favorite holiday, Thanksgiving. And we look at the turkey maybe is the main dish. And in the Thanksgiving assortment, UFC is the turkey. Then all the sides happen to be the MLB, the college football, the NFL look-aheads. We cashed our look-ahead prop bet last week there. The touchdown props all cashed in the first half. Gave you guys a plus 400, even bigger, almost plus 500 in some books with the final segment of the show. That is the touchdown parlay. I think we're 3-1 in our last 4. So you don't want to sleep on what's happening there on Saturday. But I'd be remiss not to again mention Thursday night football. The squad is ready. We're going to be assembled and giving you guys player prop sides, totals. I got a same game parlay as well. And it's time for us to get going. It's a short card for me here with you guys. Like I said, I added an NHL play, but we're going to cover these games. We're going to get to action. I've got some great trends. I've got some sides. I've got some angles. And then we're going to take a little respite while we get ready. We're going to basically what we're going to do is refill our cocktails and get ready for this live stream, 7:45 p.m. tonight. So be there, be square. And I certainly wouldn't want to be square. Let me tell you that because literally, I think I was 2-1 the other night with my live action. Plus a whole bunch of plus money spots there, plus 150s, plus 145s on some hockey plays. I can't stress it enough. Live streams. And you know what? The views show it. You guys want the live streams. You guys love the live streams. The videos, you may or you may not tune in. But you guys are there for the live streams. And that was what means the most to us. So that's why we continue to do it as we get rolling. Oh, wonder what this is. They got a Halloween pack here. Wonder what this is. I'll play around with it later. I don't want to add it right now. Because it's time for us to get to the picks. You guys know the deal. It's my favorite segment of the show. I want to see what the plays are that you guys are involved with here. You know, we want to talk about them pre-flop. We don't want to be those jokers that come in post-game tomorrow and be like, I told you. Well, you didn't tell us. You didn't post it in the chat. We didn't see it. So we didn't know if you were on it or not. But we all want to get involved, and this is the best part because we marinate on the card all day. I tell you, this is the sharpest damn chat in the business. Some people, I told you this before, true story. They want to poll the audience because they want to use that as their public poll. The public's on this. I say bullshit. We've been training, we've been coaching, we've been developing over 2 years now, 2 years and 7 days, as a matter of fact, to develop the sharpest chat in the business. And what you say goes. So I want to see the plays you guys are on. We've been working all day on this card. Let's hit the thumbs up button, show that support, help us build the audience, help us get that recognition from YouTube, and then we'll talk about the plays you guys are on, and we'll get into my card so that we can get ready for Thursday night football. That was like a failed button push right there. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but it is what it is. All right, so we recapped. We talked about the agenda for the day. We talked about the Thursday night stream. We talked about the Saturday stream. We talked about the Sunday show. Shout out to everybody that did watch our guy Sean Fox last night. Appreciate all the support. The thumbs up buttons as well means a ton for us as we grow. And let's get to it. You guys know the deal. I do want to try something here. Just give me 1 second. I'm trying to... Oh, you know what I think I have to do? Hang on. Let me just bear with me. It's a live test. I only have so many opportunities to live test. So bear with me. Let's see if this works. messing around. It's messing around. Lost audio. That's what I was afraid of. Let's see. Can you hear me now? Are we good now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. All right, it's back. Okay. That's what I was concerned with. I appreciate you guys working with me through the live test. Let's talk about some best bets here. DJ Hardy says Norfolk over tonight. Interesting spot there. Michael Vick versus Deshaun Jackson. Maybe you heard. Former Eagles battling against each other. Nicholas Handy's in the chat. Stop Geoengineering says, good luck to my fellow scumbags. Let's make sure we're good. Yep. I just want to make sure we're good. I don't want to be ripping off here and not being live. Joe W's here. Mitch Morber's here. Bo Jackson. Shout out to Bo Jackson says, let's go Blue Jays. Jays in 6, baby. Bo Jackson, I hope fucking so. I'm a little nervous, Bo Jackson. I'm going to tell you. I always get like this when a team of mine is about to close it out. Stop Geoengineering says, shit, feel like a boulder by this time of the day. We're out here pushing boulders, baby. Bo Jackson says, we can hear you, pimp. Okay. Peter Grassi says, sup, Mikey? Let's cash, kid. I'm so happy about the Jays. Me too, dude. Me too. Underrated, them Jays were. Oh, the Dodgers. We got to get it in 6, though. 7 scares me. Gerardo Hernandez, what up? Gee, my guy. The Futon Bet says, Magic versus Hornets over 61.5 total points. What's up, buddy? Where are those points coming from? First quarter? Is that what you mean? Gualo says, whoever sent Jazz over for last night, appreciate you. That's what we do here, man. We're trying to share. Trying to help everybody win more bets. Again, sharpest damn chat in the business, Gualo. David, Irish King says Dodgers in 7. Fuck you, Irish King. With all due respect, scumbag. Joe T is in the house. He's been cashing overs as well. He's had a nice little run this week. He's giving you guys the Flames and Senators. First period over 1.5. And the Canucks Blues over 6 with the Kings and the Red Wings over 5.5. I'm good with 2 of the 3. Good with 2 of the 3. Bo Jackson says that's a 2-3. That can happen tomorrow night with the Dodgers. Bo knows. Jamatra. Jerry Davis says plays I like. Hornets team total over 118. The Wizards plus 16. I kind of like that Wizard spot, dude. I was looking at that thing there. That's a lot of points against OKC. We see that they're double overtimes and struggling to cash. The Ravens -5 in the first half. -8 full game. Keaton Mitchell, 14 yards, -110. Oh, man, look at Jerry Davis. Keaton, 20 yards, +170. He liable to cash on the first carry, says Jerry Davis. There's Bruno's back in the house. Hey, Bruno. What's up, my dude? Hope you're doing well tonight. David says Magic cannot cover trash. I think the Magic are going to go out there and fuck tonight. Maybe I had a cocktail already. I don't know. Jerry Davis says, I bet Columbus Blue Jackets money line. Bet the over and parlayed the 2. I call that a sweep. Yes, man. Shout out to you, Jerry. NHL's getting back, brother. Jerry Davis says Celtics were unconscious in the second quarter. And yes, Nate, they smashed the second quarter. Shout out to Nasty Nate. The Celtics did smash last night. You know what they said? Everybody was telling you guys, ooh, they're too small. They don't match up against the Cavs. That's why we use trends. Trends are our friends until the end. Jerry Davis says, I'm hearing both Wagner brothers are out. Yep. Who gives a shit about the Eagles? He says as well. Jerry Davis. Can always count on him to support my squad. But I can count on him to support the sports money community. Dirty Reg says Tulane versus UTSA. What y'all got in that one? Cactus Black. In the house says TNF. David Wallace says, what up? Bo Jackson. Also, the World Series is the Fall Classic or October baseball. We're not going to Game 7 for no game in November. You know what, dude? I didn't even think about that angle. You're right. October baseball. He says, did y'all not realize Roberto Alomar's father passed away during this Jays postseason run? Roberto Alomar was a part of the 92-93 World Series teams. Sometimes I was just going to say this. Look, Is there a recent situation where a sacrificial ritual sacrifice led a team to a win? Can anybody think of a situation where that may have occurred? If you believe in that stuff, and I'll look at it because shit seems to happen quite a bit. There was a lot of rituals and ritual sacrifice during the MLB postseason. I'll give you guys a hint. It had to do with the NFL. I'll give you another hint. The Jets won last week. Big comeback. Jerry Davis says, I bet Tulane -3.5 and Marshall -4.5 early, and now we're -6 and -7, which means I probably lose. I do like UTSL Tulane over 54. Bo Jackson says also, I saw the Tokyo Dome was the arena where the MLB started and will in the Rogers Center, the stadium formerly known as the Sky Dome. Lots of things happening there. Dirty Red says, cool, Jerry. That Tulane line looks weird to me. David says, Bo Jackson wouldn't doubt it. I'm taking the Jays Friday. Bruno says he likes Washington +15.5. I think the Wizards are probably a good spot tonight. Gualo, Jerry Davis, Tulane got to go over, and they can't lose neither for the G5 chip. Let's go. Oldie's in the house. What up, Oldie? Bo Jackson says, I love meeting new cappers. That's how you improve as a capping skill. I've become more sharper rolling with sports money. I'm like, appreciate you, Bo. Thank you, man. Listen, I love the Gematria stuff, dude. We're cut from the same elk, my guy says. Reading lines, looking at records, etc. Bruno says, help me, Bo Jackson. What do you mean? Bro, you got to go follow Bo Jackson on Twitter, dude. Good follow. Great insight. 23, man. He made me a believer. I'm a believer. And shout out to your grandma, Bo Jackson. Vincent Contreras says no sound. Okay, I got it all fixed out. When I say shout out to his grandma, I just mean thoughts and prayers, brother. Jerry Davis says, Bo Jackson, I'm going to be disappointed if we lose to you, but you will be distraught if you lose. I just say, better hope you win tomorrow. All right. David Wallace says, I'm back. Okay. Brian Smith says, troll. Who's the troll? We'll zip that motherfucker right out of here. We'll get him on. Ready, shoot, aim, boys. If you find me a troll, I'll fucking zip him right out of here. Stop Geo says, Little Mouse is doing, no. Fuck you, Joe T, with your 2. I see you guys. Yeah, I was trying something out. There was a new feature that came up here, and I just wanted to see if it would work for us. Obviously, it did not. Bo Jackson says, I was Oakland when the Raptors won in 2019. I'll be there tomorrow. Jerry Davis is on the +20 over 55 in Deshaun versus Vic battle. Let's go. Bo Jackson says, I know a ritual where when I see one, I don't somehow hold me. Yeah, dude. Brian Palmer says, what's going on, everyone? Let's get paid. Red Wings money line, Penguins puck line, and Flyers money line. Bruno says, hope you're all good to go. Stop Geo, giving some action. Con Duple +15 points. I'm sure I butchered that. Starting to roll versus Brandon Miller out. Orlando gave up 135 plus points in both their road games and no Jalen Suggs. Okay. Appreciate that, my dude. Stop Geo. Shout out to David. Shout out to Stop Geo says Franz Wagner. Also iffy for the game. Bo Jackson says, and yes, Mike is absolutely right about the Jets last Sunday. Yeah. Mango, baby. Disappointed. RIP. But was that? I mean, you got to look at some of the, listen. There's some sorcery at play sometimes. Terry Davis says, I follow a guy who's laddering Knipel and Wiggins 3 to 7 threes at huge plus money. Stop Geo says the Gematria in Kobe's 81-point game is crazy. Ironically, it was his 666. I'm only laughing because I didn't have the number offhand, and I was typing somebody's name in, and it turned out to be 666. And I was like, oh, man, it makes sense. That person is the devil. David's laughing his ass off for us. Bryce was his fat fingers on the text. Autocorrector. Bo Jackson. Even the Ravens have a ritual. Speaking of rituals, Ravens money line, but maybe we can get a better line with the alternate line. You guys are ready to go. I'm ready to go. I literally thought that today as I was typing it in. I was like, the fuck is this? I was typing their name in the first 3 letters. Came out to 666, and I was like, this fucking guy is the devil. Anyhow, tonight's card is underway, you guys. It's going to be a doozy. We're going to start here. I don't want to say conservatively, but there's some early spots that I do want to get involved with here. The first game we're going to talk about, Buffalo, excuse me, taking on the Boston Bruins. Is this a Bruins smash spot? Shout out. Don't ever read too deep into me. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think this is a Bruins smash spot. First of all, if you have a starting goaltender in Buffalo, it's got to be Leon. He will be getting the nod tonight. Korpisalo is going to get the nod on the other side. So we automatically have, I don't want to say automatically. Let me pump my brakes for a second. I was talking to a friend today about this earlier. We were talking about the problem with the Buffalo Bills. And I compared it to fucking StreamYard. Timely with their money, aren't they? I compared it to baseball. And I said, if you get a number one pitcher against a number one pitcher, you're okay. But if your number one pitcher is going against the number two pitcher, you're probably in an advantage. And I look at this when I compare these goaltenders to starting pitchers to some degree, because goals against average is a lot like ERA. Alex Leon's 3-4-1, but he does have a 2.77 goals against average. Jonas Korpisalo has a 3.61 goals against average. And Boston just got busted up in a rivalry game. Boston, Ottawa, I told you guys it's a rivalry spot. I thought Boston would get the win. And so they're going to go back to a backup. And he's been struggling. Flip side, Sabres. Bruins struggling on top of this whole thing. To me, this is just a spot where you got to look at it and say, hey, you know what? They're a favorite for a reason. And in fact, unrested teams against rested divisional opponents. You got yourselves 8-2 in the last 10. 406 and 185. They're a favorite for a reason. 406 and 185 is well over 66% cashing. That's a Buffalo Sabre spot for us here. I'm telling you guys here, this is a Buffalo comes out. As much as I shit on their lineup early in the season, I talked disparagingly about their ability to fucking manage things. And Gary Bettman was he was there for the opener to see what's going on with the organization because he's trying to figure out why they continue to suck. But tonight, suck they not. I think they go out there and beat these Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins are in a rebuild. Look at, maybe I'm an early adopter. I am an early adopter. I believe in that philosophy. I'll take new technology. I'll play around with it for a while. I'll try to come up with some new trends as well. But Boston's in a rebuild. So are the Penguins. The only difference is Boston's showing it. Penguins are still finding a way to win. I'm going to go to this next game with a parlay for you guys here between the Nashville Predators and the Philadelphia Flyers. I got a couple trends to boot that support this play, and I don't necessarily want to get involved. I talked to a friend earlier today. I said, look, early in the season, let me just take a step back. Early in the season, you can't lay puck lines on favorites. And we're seeing it prove the results. And I'm not just saying it because, oh, look at the results. We're late to the party. No. Here's the problem. You have to take this in as not as a grain of salt, but as just some healthy recommendation when you're thinking about cutting the juice down in case you lose, right? That's what people play the puck lines for. And they like the Flyers last 2 nights ago against the Penguins in that frenzy throughway series. But they lay the puck line on the Flyers in case they lose because they're a minus 180 favorite. Well, guess what? You got fucked. You lost. And what's the problem? Not just with the Flyers, but globally across the NHL. And I guess it probably goes with every sport, right? Sometimes teams are too stupid to realize they're bad, right? And so I've said this before. Flyers are one of those teams. We've seen it. Go back and look at history. And I'll use the Flyers as the blueprint across the NHL. You go back and you look at the history of the NHL, you'll see teams like the Flyers, November, December, they're tops in the Eastern Conference. But then guess what happens? The good teams get good. They figure out their power play. They figure out their special teams. and they start to create that separation, that gap in performance. And so when I say they're too stupid to know that they should lose, why you don't lay puck lines early in the season, at least the first month or so, is because they haven't gotten that separation. Teams like Chicago, teams like San Jose are finding W's because as the season progresses, the teams that have the depth and the talent haven't fully found their form. So early in the season, stop laying puck lines on favorites. Don't lay regulation. If I'm going to make any kind of recommendation, I would say lay the -1s. Frankly, you take a -1 with the Flyers the other night, you pushed. It beats the loss that every other jabroni took with the Flyers winning in regulation and Flyers on the puck line, right? Because Sidney Crosby scores a goal with, fucking couple minutes left in the game, and we go to overtime, and the Flyers win in a shootout. Shout out to Brink. That was a hell of a shootout goal. But we have to find creative ways to get after this one. And here's this Flyers team sitting at a big price tag, reasonably speaking, big price tag. And we say, well, do we want to lay the puck line? How do we go about attack this game? And I think two things. One, we have to look at the fact that Nashville stinks right now. Nashville, Stamkos is not the answer. This guy was, I'm going to say it, he was bounced out of Tampa Bay. And Tampa Bay is doing all right without him. They're not missing this guy. His performance stinks. Collectively, go look at the stats. He's not getting the job done. So, as we look at these spots, as this particular spot start, I got to look at the Flyers, and I got to look at the under. And a couple of things. Yeah, we've got Vladar going, but dude's been sub-2. This is your backup goalie behind Ersson. Fucking guy's injured again, Ersson. This guy might be softer than razor sharp picks. I'm not sure. And I can say that because I'll be live with him on stream tonight. That being said, though, Vladar's been playing great. Again, 1.81 goals against average and a 93.2% save percentage. You say Saros is going on the other side with Nashville. I don't care who's good. Jesus Christ himself could be playing in goal for the Nashville Predators. It still wouldn't make a difference for me because he stinks. Do I want to lay a 160, a 170 on the Flyers at this point? I don't. I think the Flyers go out there at home as the stronger team early in the season. Too stupid to know they should lose. But check this out. The Flyers, when they play the Central Division, the unders have been rampant. It's 8-1-1 in the last 10 games, 36-23 over a 59-game sample to the under. Now 5.5. I'm buying it up to 6. So what I'm doing is I'm taking a -160 on the Flyers. I'm adding a half a goal to the total, riding that 8-1-1 and saying, give me the Flyers in the under 6 at a +210. I think that's the best way to get it. Jerry Davis says, you've been a little cold on Flyers picks. That may be, but I'm telling you, they're too stupid to know they're bad. And tonight, Nashville is the worst team in this assortment. So we'll take a slower game, and we'll get this money here tonight. I did push Jerry with that Flyers -1 the other night. So with all due respect, I'm not going to come out here and give you guys a -180. Jay Main says, Jerry, I honestly forgot I put that shit on my parlay. I totally forgot I saw what Wizards going up. Well, that might be a 50 wasted. Okay, let's go on to a parlay for you guys here. The Carolina Hurricanes, the Winnipeg Jets. This is another spot where I looked at it and said, first of all, it might be midseason before I lay a puck line on the Winnipeg Jets. That team is an under team. It's built defensively with strong goaltending by Hellebuck. So stop laying puck lines with these guys. Just don't do it. You might win it, but you're going to lose a lot more than you win. And guess who's going tonight in goal? Hellebuck. Spencer Knight will go on the other side for the Chicago Blackhawks. And this guy's been playing great. 2.11 goals against average. I told you guys before the benchmark is around 2.7, right? 2.7, 2.8. Anything less than that is Vezina type numbers, and anything over that, serviceable or shitbag. And so a 2.11 falls right in the wheelhouse for this Chicago Blackhawks team. But aren't they feisty? That's a team that's too stupid to know they're bad. And Connor Bedard finally woke the fuck up. So Winnipeg plays to their competition. They're one of those teams that looks at it and says, you know what? If they score 3, we'll have to score 4. It is what it is. If you fade Chicago after a win, you're 28-5. The Winnipeg Jets be the spot there. Chicago just can't, they get excited. They're young guys. They go out there, they win a game, they suck down a few cocktails, they have a few late night lap dances, and they just can't come back and answer the bell the next day. So you fade Chicago against the Jets tonight. You're 28-5 in those spots overall. That's a Chicago specific trend. We look at three types of trends. We look at league wide, team specific, and then sometimes coach or player, right? That's the other caveat to it. The other leg to this one comes down to Carolina. Home divisional favorites are favorites for a reason. You're 176-75 in those spots. Furthermore, check this one out. If I was going to lay a puck line, it would be on the Carolina Hurricanes tonight. The Carolina Hurricanes, for some reason, against the Metropolitan Division, have put boot to ass. Literally. 46-12 against the Metropolitan Division are the Carolina Hurricanes. This is their era. Maybe a dark horse for the Stanley Cup this year, but they've won 20 straight times. 20 straight times. So we got a trend that says fade the Blackhawks. We'll take the Jets. And we got a 20 straight winner on the Carolina Hurricanes against the Metropolitan Division. That's a plus 112. I think that's a great way for us to wrap up the NHL segment. I think that's the way we get paid here in the NHL tonight. Some of you guys are talking about the NFL. I'm excited for it. We're going to move on to college football next as we look at the Green Wave. 3-0 in the division. Coastal Carolina. Coastal Carolina coming into this thing here. What are you going to do? We're going to look at some trends and some angles, and we're going to try to come up with a winner in this play as well. We look at this Green Wave team, -5.5. Everybody's pumping on UTSA. What the fuck? Are you not watching these Roadrunners? They struggle to score. And they struggle on defense. Dude, the listen, let me step back. I get really excited about some of these spots here. 57% of the bets and 62% of the cash are on the Roadrunners. It's moved from 5.5 to 6. And the total at 52.5 is moved to 54.5. So you got 2 points of movement, 31% of the bets, 87% of the cash on the over. That's one of the biggest discrepancies in college football all season long. So the bigger bets are coming in here saying this game's going to go over the number. I would be fully fucking surprised. Now, if it does go over, it's because the Green Wave score 100 points. Let me start the cap by telling you guys that. They got to keep it rolling if they want to be a part of that G5 college football playoff bid against the UTSA team that's 3-4, 1-2 in the AAC. Collectively, the Roadrunners, so we got what? 100, I forgot the number. Is it 150 teams? Let's just say it's 150 teams. Doesn't matter. Just for argument's sake. UTSA is 110th nationally in passing yards and 121st in opposing quarterback rating. They stink. They can't pass the ball. And when you're down, especially if you're down hefty margin, which this game suggests they might be, you're going to go put the ball in your quarterback's hands? On top of it, they played against North Texas, and their defense looked like absolute dog shit. They gave up 584 yards, 314 through the air. That's a problem. They got busted up 55-17 against that North Texas team that, look, we said it before. You look at North Texas, they're kind of mediocre early, and then you look back at the game later, and you're like, holy shit, they might cover. Green Wave on the other side, their passing effectiveness, 42nd overall in college football in success rate. To me, collectively, their rush defense holds opponents to 3.37 yards per carry, and they shut down that Army's triple option. So you got to look at this team and say, where the hell are the Roadrunners going to come in here and find a way to battle these guys? They're not. This is a -5.5 for me with the Green Wave. Green Wave are on their way to try to make the college football bowl. And now they're on the road, so I get it. But it's a lot of points. You got to think about the number. What they're saying is the Roadrunners are almost a double-digit dog. And some of you guys might be looking at this thing going, what do you mean a double-digit dog? It's -5.5. What I mean by double-digit dog is they give the home team 3 points for home field. So a +6 means +9. We might as well call it +10. So all the Green Wave have to do is win by a touchdown. I think that's a safe bet for us here tonight. I don't want to say safe bet, but it's a good bet for us here tonight. As we roll on, Nunez in the house. What up, Nunez? Says, fuck UTSA. He's on Tulane. Jerry Davis says UTSA will score on the ground, but won't keep pass with Tulane in his opinion. I agree. Bo Jackson says, want to talk your shit and disagree? Oh, well, listen, I don't fuck with Post Jamatra. I learned a long time ago. That motherfucker's got something going on over there. You don't mess with Bo Jackson's Jamatra, that's for sure. I might not even be saying it right, but all I know is I respect it. I honor it. And I don't want to get in the way of it. So let's go on. Let's talk about some NBA. We got 2 games here for you. 2 games on the card. And I've got an NFL spot for you guys. It's going to be a -135 play. Maybe it's a little square. But I'm going to talk to you guys about the way I think this game goes down as well. Golden State, the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee, as we move to the NBA. The Milwaukee Bucks have opened up at +1.5. They're now +3.5. Early open lines moved to the +3.5. I told you before, we don't want last week's look to this week's look. We want like the very first number on the street. That's why we've been innovative and early adopters when it comes to these cash flow splits and trying to analyze line movement. And we have 41% of the bets and 45% of the cash on the Bucks, +1.5 to +3.5. Big money coming in on the Warriors, and the line's moving and showing respect. The totals moved up a point from 230.5 to 231.5. 92% of the bets, 92% of the cash are on the over. And I'm not buying it. I'm not buying in on this Golden State team tonight. I'm not. I think the wrong team's favored. If I'm going to take a dog, I've told you guys before, I think it's got to be a spot where the dog can win outright. And I do think this is that case here. First and foremost, the guy that is fucking stomping across the NBA right now is Giannis. Can't argue. We had him the other night. Big swinging dick or whatever it was called. Now the Warriors are 4-1, so I get it. They lost on the road, though. So you got to recognize leaving the barn and traveling could be problematic for these guys. We saw Steph Curry, 2 threes. He had like 15 attempts. He couldn't get our over 4.5. So, I think the guy you got to look at is Ryan Rollins. If you're looking at this Buck side of things here, he's averaging 30 minutes. He's scoring 25 points against the Knicks. They came back to win that game out there. And he steals the ball a ton. So look at some Rollins steal plays as well here. But I'm going to take a shot. I'm going to say that the Warriors at home, they screw. On the road, they get screwed. And I think this is a spot where wrong team's favored. The Bucks are out here to stomp. Giannis has been killing it. He's playing in a new position. I gave you guys the breakdown on Giannis the other day. He likes being in that. Is it the power forward position there? This guy's just ready to go. And I think the Bucks are ready to go. We're going to move on. The last game for the NBA. I'm moving quickly because we're right to the wire. You guys know the deal. Miami Heat, San Antonio Spurs is the last spot that we have here in. It's a 4-game NBA card. So I like the Wizards. I already told you guys I'd concur with you guys in the chat. You guys are the sharpest fucking chat in the business. So I'm not going to get in the way of that. I like it. It's just a first cut for me. The Miami Heat opened up at 5.5. They moved to 6 against them San Antonio Spurs. And the Spurs, hell of a start at 4-0. Wemby. This guy's looking MVP caliber. I know it's early, but last year he was kind of a beanpole. He's built up a little bit. He's gotten used to the length and strength of his schedule in the NBA, and that's a guy. You got yourself a guy in San Antonio, so congrats to that process. 57% of the bets are on the San Antonio Spurs, 48% of the cash on the Spurs, suggesting some bigger money coming in on the Miami Heat. It has moved to 6. The total at 233.5 dropped to 228.5, and you have 91% of the bets. You have 90% of the cash on there, and I'll let the public dummy this thing down to me. First and foremost, I don't need a reason to be on the NBA overs. They continue to dominate. They're winning at like a 95% clip. So pump your brakes when it comes to these unders. And yeah, Miami Heat, they do like to get themselves to the unders, but the Spurs against the East are 123-78 to the over. For some reason, they don't play defense against the Eastern Conference, and they continue to dominate. So we've got 5 points of a break in our back pocket. Somewhere along in there is the middle. I think this is probably a 231 on the number. So we'll take a shot with these guys at the over 228. And it brings us, I don't have it on the graphic. Shame on me. Shout out to Tech B. Late to the party. What's your best pick? I'm on the Spurs. Anya says, Mike moving lines to lane at -6. I might have. I might have moved that one, dude. Some people were saying dogs and unders, and I was like, I don't know about that, man. I think favorites in this college. I mean, these are national primetime games for these guys that are ESPN, ESPN2s. The lights are on. Everyone's excited. Their girls are dressed up real cute at the games. Everyone's ready to fucking fire tonight. Might be making some babies after Tulane goes out there and dominates this game. I don't know. Pacheco de Gala says, Mike, for Tulane game, FanDuel is showing 92% of the bets and 97% of the cash on Tulane. Well, keep in mind, I'm not going to disagree with it, but keep in mind that's FanDuel specific. So we want to get more of an aggregate sample. I don't even know what did I say the numbers were. Yeah, so FanDuel is banging away on Green Wave. It kind of makes sense that it's moved to some 6s. I bet you it's FanDuel that moved to the 6. Let me look. No, it's not. It's Bet Rivers and Bet MGM. But those are FanDuel specific numbers. And by the way, those are FanDuel specific numbers in your state. Pacheco de Gallo. So just kind of keep that in mind as you look at some of that stuff. A more aggregate sample here with, I think 9 books are comprised of this sample, show 43% of the bets and 38% of the cash on the Green Wave. So not disagreeing, not saying it's not the case, but these state regulated books that show you their percentages are by your state. Just keep that in mind as you do look at some of that stuff. So your state loves the Green Wave tonight. And I agree. I'm not sure where your state is, Pacheco de Gallo, but I agree. There be some smart motherfuckers tonight. Last game on the card is this NFL battle. Let me start this by saying, first of all, 5.5s have moved to 7.5s. 74% of the bets, 78% of the cash, and it continues to move on the Ravens. It just got the green arrows here. They're betting more money on the Ravens. As we get closer to game time, sometimes we look at that U-shaped movement, right? And we see early betting is sharp betting. No one's betting next week's games on Sunday night, the week before, right? So it's sharper bettors, syndicates, conglomerates that are betting that. They're trying to get a number. It goes down. Then when it goes down and starts to come back up, that last shape of the U are typically going to be some sharper bettors. Now, I'm not saying that's the case here tonight, but they like the Ravens -7.5. 2 has never won on Thursday Night Football. 47.5 is the total. It's moved to 51.5 with 64% of the bets and 79% of the cash on the over. Let me start by saying this. I think the number was right originally. I think does that say Seahawks and Cardinals? What's going on here? Oh, I see what I did. I see. Ignore that. Let me move this. Let me just go back. Better to be wrong. I'll just put it right here. So here's the deal. Lamar Jackson wasn't good enough to play last week. 4 days later, he's good enough to play. Would they put the 47.5 in? My opinion, this is what this show is. This is my opinion. They expected Lamar to be playing. These guys are sharp when it comes to their money line spots and their totals. So now what they're doing is they're playing gotcha. And I believe the public is going to start cracking this over. 64% of the bets, 79% of the cash are looking at this over going, oh, Lamar's playing. It's going to go way over the number. And it has. Traditionally, the Dolphins don't play shit for defense, and the Ravens don't either. Here's the thing. I said this 4 weeks ago. You're starting to hear some of these fucking jokers come out now and say, take Baltimore to win the AFC North or whatever. Listen, I said this today. I heard somebody say, I literally said to myself, you're too late, stupid. 4 weeks ago, I said, even though the fucking Ravens are horrible, they're still one of the high on odds to win the AFC. 3 weeks ago, still. 2 weeks ago, still. Now you're going to lay -130 for the Ravens to win the AFC North? That's an asshole. That's a late to the party bullshit guy. And ultimately, for me, we don't want to be in that situation. I also believe when it comes down to this Ravens situation now, they had the number right at 47.5, and I believe somewhere in between 47.5 and 51.5 is where the game ends up. So we'll be looking to live bet this game. Maybe it's a little square, but I had to look at this and just say, give me the Baltimore money line and give me, Derrick Henry to score a touchdown. Yeah, I have fumbles on the goal line. Sure. But he's a touchdown monster. He's got 510 rushing yards. Just because he fumbled a couple times on the goal line doesn't mean he's some bitch. And he's in prime time against one of the worst units in football. The Dolphins are allowing 174 rushing yards a game through the first 5 games of the season. That's dead last. Henry likes to break backs. We saw him do it against Buffalo a year ago. This guy gets downfield. He runs downfield. That means you're fucked if you're going to try to get in front of this guy. So I think we put the points aside. I think the books had it right at 5.5. I think 7.5 concerns me with the hook, like we talked about before. But I think you can find yourself a minus 135. And I think it's good money to say Baltimore wins this game. Dolphins got their win last week. I get it. Everyone's excited. Doesn't save shit, and they're going into a bye. But then Derrick Henry to go out there and get a touchdown against one of the league's worst rushing defenses in the game at a minus 135 seems like just good money for us to get paid. Not get cute with it. We'll talk some player props. We'll talk some same game parlays. We're going to do some fun things here with the live show. But official show play here for pregame in Baltimore and Henry to get a touchdown, minus 135. It's come down. In all fairness, it's come down. Who's going to do it? The Dolphins? Dolphins are going to come out there and sneak these boys. Now, what you may have heard is Lamar Jackson is from this area. And you know what? Last time out, probably compromised him. They lost 2 years ago down in Miami. Lamar's back. He's ready to attack. And I think he learned from his lesson that last time out. Probably a little premature to say that he might be active last week. Yeah, it's 4 days later. He likes to pass the ball when he gets injured, so I get that as well. But I think Baltimore, I think Derrick Henry's learned his lesson. I think this is a spot for us to take Baltimore to win the game. I think Henry gets that touchdown. And I think minus 135 is the best number you're going to find on the street. So that is how we will put the bow on the show, you guys. Thank you guys all for watching. Make sure you tune back in. We're going to be live. We're going to be live in 40 minutes. The Razor Sharp Picks Network, the Sports Money Network, the best damn stream in the business, gives you guys real plays. We read the lines. We read the trends. We do all the things together, and we drink with the best of them. So get ready to have a good time tonight. Good luck with all of your action tonight, and we'll see you guys back here live for Thursday Night Football.